World of Tanks. Beautiful, beautiful. Yes, screen share. Well, he's not screen sharing right now, I don't think, right? He sent me the deck. So,
We're live.
oh, that's right. Hello. Welcome, everybody. Hi,
Oh,
chat.
hello,
I
hello.
should probably pull up chat so I can see what chat's saying. But hi, chat. Uh,
Hey guys.
welcome to another episode of Talkin Tanks with me, Domo Sapien, my amazing co-host, co-anchor, whatever you want to call this position that we are both in, but my amazing co-host, Commander AF. And we are joined today by our very own food printer, the printer of foods.
Hi guys.
Foods.
How's it
I
going,
print all
food
the
printer?
foods, mostly potatoes.
So, food
Anyways,
printer. I'm not. You've changed positions so many times that I don't know what your official job title is now. I know you are some form of competitive gaming specialist, but maybe you could tell the people at home what's your position at Wargaming? Who are you? What are you to WG?
you actually just pronounced it correct. It's competitive gaming specialist.
Oh, there you go.
uh,
Okay.
there you go. I'm dealing with rank battles, clan battles, and all sorts of tournaments and clan-related activities. Basically, that's just shortly summarizing it.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Right on.
So I guess before we kind of dive into getting to know Foodprinter, our illustrious guest here, a longtime wargamer, I figured why don't we tell the people a little bit about our show, what to expect, a little bit of news. I'm happy to jump right in and do that. Does that
By
sound
all
okay to
means,
you, Demo?
by all means, take it away.
Okay.
I always forget to do that
Please.
part. And Food Printer is a good friend of mine, so I'm excited to chat with him. But yeah, let's get to business first, and then we can have the fun interview part.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see you and Foodprinter engage because I've been in many a meeting where the
Same.
two of you are like on the same wavelength, and I'm like, huh, are we even in the room? So I'll get this out of the way quickly. Well, like Demo said, welcome to Talkin' Tanks, everybody. This is the show where we talk to good people from around the World of Tanks community that are doing cool things. Today, our special guest happens to be a war gamer who's been with the company for a very long time. So Foodprinter's gonna tell us all about his experience working for Wargaming for 9 years and give us a behind the scenes peek at Ranked Battles Season X, which drops on June 28th. So hopefully, we'll be able to tell you a little bit more about ranked battles and answer any questions that come through chat. But before we get to that, I did just want to do a little housekeeping. As many of you may know, Update 1.13 dropped this week. It is the biggest update to the game to date for 2021. With it, of course, we've seen the big arty changes that were tested in sandboxes past, and we got everyone's World of Tanks got everyone's feedback, and so now you see some big changes to the artillery system in game as well as HE shells. So enjoy all of that. We've got a new season of Battle Pass. It also kicked off with the release of Update 1.13. You'll see that there are some new mods added to the game, like the commander's view and tactical view, as well as HP that you can now see in the team panel and also in the mini map, and lots of other little things like that. So definitely check out the official 1.13 update 1.13 article to kind of dive into all of it because there was a lot going on. Also, what else is going on? A new episode of What's Next dropped today. So if you haven't seen that yet, make sure you go check it out. I've got my usual bonus code in it where you can get a free 3-day rental of a different tank this weekend. So go watch the episode after this. The vehicle trade-in summer edition has kicked off. So if you have any premium tanks that maybe are collecting some dust, you don't play too much, you can trade those in and put half the value of it towards a new premium tank. And then there's a bunch of special weekend missions. So if you don't know about all of the things going on, I definitely encourage you to check out worldoftanks.com or What's Next. Find out what you're missing or what's going on this weekend so you don't miss it. And then for today's episode, so Talkin' Tanks is a stream where we talk about tanks or people that are doing things with World of Tanks. So this is going to be less of like a gameplay stream, like one of the streams that you'll see with Tragic Loss on Tuesdays or a late night tank show or even the Chieftains Motor Pool. You're not going to see a whole lot of gameplay. But we will open up the game a little bit later in the episode when we do a special challenge. Usually, every episode of Talkin' Tanks, Domo, myself, and our guests get into the game, and you guys at home will vote on who you think is going to win the challenge. And if you vote correctly on who you think will win the challenge, you'll be put into a raffle for a mystery tragic loss prize. Now, that could be anything from a Wargaming store raffle to Foodprinter's favorite tank, premium tank. You never know what it could be, so definitely stick around towards the end. We are going to do a mystery tragic loss giveaway as well as have a special in-game challenge. But I think that's really all I had to cover. So I think it's about time that Domo and Foodprinter get to talk to each other again today, about themselves and tell us about their lives at Wargaming.
I mean, so
So,
this is a
Domo,
so
go on.
I mean, so I guess I was gonna say, I wanted to tack on, I guess, since you did such a great job, introing the show. I wanted to mention a little bit about the format as well. Typically, how we like to structure it, and it goes a little bit off the rails sometimes if we have a panel of 6 people joining us, for example. But typically we like to do a little interview here, and like what are our big heads are taking up the whole screen, and then oftentimes we invite knowledgeable, talented, etc. folks who have something to share with us, and Foodprinter has something to share with us that y'all have already kind of been familiarized with a little bit, but we're going to go over basically in more detail a little bit later on. What the ranked season X is going to look like, and kind of some differences that you'll see in ranked season X versus previous ranked seasons. And who knows, maybe Foodprinter can give us a little bit of a insight, the inside scoop on like some of the perspective behind some of those changes from the competitive side. So that should be interesting. Make sure you all stick around, and at the end we'll have some kind of a fun challenge. And I think we're going to be doing predictions again. So we will be doing predictions for who's going to win the challenge. And then if you predict correctly, you actually covered this, didn't you? I'm being redundant now. I apologize. But yeah, they make the correct prediction, and then you'll be entered into a giveaway. And what the contents of that giveaway are, only Tragic Loss knows. But yeah, should be a good time. Should be fun. Do you guys want to move on to questions?
Yeah.
Okie doke.
I'm gonna put the link to the prediction entry form into chat. Spoiler alert: it is gonna be just Domo versus Foodprinter, so that's who you have to pick between.
There's context.
But you don't know the challenge yet. You don't know the challenge yet.
Yeah, there's context to why it's just gonna be a one-on-one challenge. But we'll go over that.
Not there yet.
Lady May, nobody wants to see me in a hot tub. Let's just rip that band-aid off right now. All right.
No
we're not doing hot tub streams.
channel.
We are professionals. All right. And I'm not trying to scar anybody's eyeballs. So we're not doing any of that. But we have hot takes and hot tanks. So, that should be enough. So that said, speaking of hot takes, I guess this isn't really a hot take, but Foodprinter, maybe would you? So I know you have a extensive history with wargaming. Sometimes I feel like I've been working with wargaming forever, and I know you've been with wargaming for quite longer. So a two-parter. I guess how do I guess we kind of covered what you do for wargaming. But I guess
very briefly, I think we could get into what that role we could talk entails, because I don't know.
All right, so let's do that. Yeah, what do you do as competitive gaming specialist? Tell us what makes a competitive gaming specialist tick.
Okay, you're probably already familiar with Big Brother. Basically, I'm covering most of the stuff that he was doing. He actually grew up to be a manager, or what do you call it? I'm basically responsible. I'm still new at this, but I'm basically responsible for uh, like making the competitive events like rank battles, clan wars, clan season, the upcoming summer event. There's going to be summer event, obviously, and not doing just like what we could do like on a global scale, but actually adjusting like everything to the needs of NA players. Basically, like we sometimes we need to fight with HQ to get the better condition for our players, and that's where my uh, first language that I'm speaking, English is my second language, is kicking in. Uh, I may go like several, well, almost nine years back in the history, but I actually started as a uh, billing support specialist in the Minsk office. Like even before that, like for more than a year, I was playing World of Tanks. It was already released in CIS, and it was becoming a huge hit. And Wargaming as a company, it was. Uh, let's say it was getting a lot of hype uh, just because of this game, and the game was getting very, very famous. And basically, you could meet any random person in the street, and ask if they played. Worst case, if they don't play, they at least somebody in their family would play.
Huh.
Yeah, that's how huge it was at that time. So I was a huge fan, and I was working together with one of the previous players who actually went the same route, like basically from a player to becoming like a wargaming employee, again as a billing specialist. He kind of recommended me, and that's how I joined. To be honest, like. Just skipping a bit, at some point, like when I was leaving the office, I love the company so much, so like I didn't want to them struggle, because they were growing very fast, and there was a lot of support work involved. My friend, who is also like very competitive in tanks, I recommended him, and he was hired basically instead of me when I
Nice.
was leaving. Yeah, so basically I'm trying to, even if I leave the company or something like that, at least the office, I'm trying to cover my spot to make sure that we're working, as a team, and nothing is get broken.
Yeah,
So
I
would you
kind of
say
felt
that's
like
like a
that.
common story for folks, or early employees of Wargaming, especially working in the Minsk office? Because I assume that was the first office, like first
That
headquarters,
was the
only head
first.
office. So is that
Yes.
like a common story where maybe many of your colleagues were originally just fans of the game, part of the
Yeah.
community, and they're like, how do I get my foot in the door and
Yeah,
and
that,
support with
that
it?
that's exactly how it was. Like, to be
Yeah.
honest, like many of the management, like maybe middle or even upper management, actually started as either as a CS employees or community employees.
And
I
I,
don't.
didn't
I,
you start in CS?
Yeah, I was gonna.
Yes,
So I was gonna say, it's funny because
Yeah.
like I see some parallels there, between my experience, although in Emeryville. So I was referred by the old. He was a CSR at the time, and then I know he was product specialist for CS for World of Tanks for a little bit. Cyclonic 221, and he's working elsewhere now. Um, we're still in contact and everything, but it's funny because like I exact same thing. Like I was a big fan of the game, and then he was like, hey, don't you play World of Tanks? And I was like, hell yeah, dude, I love World of Tanks. And he's like, well, like I work customer service for World of Tanks, or customer support, and we have an opening for a customer support rep. Do you want a referral? And like, I was working at like a little printing company at the time doing phone support. So I was like, heck yes, dude, sign me up. Right. Um,
Awesome.
and it's funny because like wargaming, like, I to this day I'm always like, look, like we tend to move slowly here at wargaming sometimes, um, and basically like I didn't hear back, like I didn't get my call back, um, for like a month and a half, and like I think I'd started at a new place, um, and then I got a call back, and I was like, and I remember when they hired me, they were like, are you gonna be able to commit for like at least a few months because we're like otherwise we're gonna need to backfill the position. It's gonna put us in a tight spot, and I was like, oh yeah, no, totally, I got nothing going on, right? And then I get a call from Wargaming, and I'm like, oh crap, like I really care about getting this job. Like I love this game. I would love to work on this game, right? So I'm like, okay, whatever. It might not pan out. I'll just go in, have my interview. And I probably won't get a call back or whatever, and then I'll have job security. And then like I get the offer, and I'm like, okay, crap. Like okay, now I gotta go talk to the manager. Like, listen, so it was this job that I applied for, before I started here. But they were super cool about it because, like, even on my resume at the time, like, I had all of like my gaming experience on there, like all the consoles that I was like proficient in, like Super Nintendo, Nintendo, Sega Genesis, like everything, right? So they're like,
Every
yeah, I know,
employer
like
is really
you're.
interested in that.
Oh, my resume was admittedly crap back then too. Um, but like I did want to work in tech and gaming or whatever, so I thought it was relevant. But yeah, I guess a long tangent. Concluding, like they were very nice about it. They're like, yeah, we know you're passionate about games and everything, and it'd be like rude of us to like hold you back. So like it's all good. And,
Yeah, it sounds like they understood that it was your dream to work for wargaming and be in the gaming industry. So I guess Foodprinter, that brings me to a question for you. Is working at wargaming, is that your first video game industry job, or
Yes,
had you worked
yes,
oh, okay.
yes.
And you just knew the path for you?
Uh, I have quite a similar story to Doma. Basically, like
Course.
I was waiting for quite a while to get something, some response. Like I actually applied 2 times, but and I was going to some other position. I was going to software QA at that time, and actually I even applied even before. And on the same week where I got the job at Wargaming, I got the call from the QA company, basically like, oh, you want to go work for us? And like, no, I actually will say it was Wargaming. But yeah, uh, and the fun part. So I started on May 15, 2012. So more than 5 years already. Oh, 9 years already. And literally like 10 days later, once I started, I figured out that I won in the diversity visa lottery. And like, hey, I'm going to America.
Oh,
So yeah, that was completely unexpected, but
sorry, I missed
obvious.
it. Foodprinter, how many years in? And then you won the Visa lottery?
10 days, I figure out about the winning 10 days after like basically like starting working at wargaming.
Wow, okay. So you were how long then were you in Minsk at the
uh,
wargaming office?
in the wargaming office, like
Yeah.
I started working on May 15, and few days later, like 10 days later, I figured out that, and I was basically working for the entire year. Because
Okay, okay.
like once thing you figure it out, then like all the papers and preparation, it takes like sometimes again. So like I was working for like basically till the end of the May next year,
Okay.
2013.
And then so where
uh
did you go from there? What happened?
so I was at that time I was still like a support specialist, and like nobody's gonna pay for the like transfer of like a simple support employee. But they actually said like we're gonna recommend you for the position. Like at that time. NA office was very small, but it was growing very, very fast, and obviously they needed qualified support specialists. So I applied. I had all the interviews over Skype when Skype was actually a great software. uh, yeah, and basically by the late April, I got the offer and everything, and literally, so I ended working at Minsk office on May 31st. By July 7th, I was already in the United States and was waiting to start in the NA office. It was fun because I actually I moved to another country, and I had no I never been to United States before, and I moved to the Bay Area, and I was as a any sane person, I was looking for temporary basically like a motel to live, but not expensive. And obviously that ended up to be like in Auckland, in not very safe neighborhood. But for me, it was quite a new experience. But when I told the folks in the office, I actually walked to the office. They said "Where did you say? Oh, like when you get there, close the doors and shut the windows and stay there.
Oh
Welcome
my
to
gosh.
United States."
So did you come to the United States on your own? Like no
Yes,
family or anything? Okay. That's
completely.
brave.
Well, yeah. What can I say? It wasn't exactly the Borat story for sure.
Okay, well, that's good, I think, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I started working as a billing support specialist. Technically, well, it was actually support specialist, but
Here in
I was
the Bay
in
Area when
NA.
you transferred.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So that's my second office.
Okay.
So I worked there for almost 3 years, and after my first visit, after a while, my first visit back to home, I actually felt homesick, and I was under impression America is great, but I'm gonna go come home. So I actually decided to temporarily leave the company. Well, not leave the company, but actually try to reapply for the position in the Minsk office, because I don't. Even now I actually don't want to leave wargaming. I like the company.
Me too.
The I come from Belarus, and for me it's technically partly the national pride kicks in. Like uh, that's probably the best company that was created in my country, and I want to be a part of it, and to make it even
So did
better.
wargaming incentivize you to stay? Like when did you get your first promotion or first career shift at wargaming?
Hold on to that.
Okay.
There's a story behind it. So, okay, by that time I didn't have any promotion, and so I left. That was January 2015. So I left there. I was trying to apply for several positions and for gaming. Uh, but then, when I came there, not for 2, 3, 4 weeks, but actually to stay. Uh, I remember why I actually came to United States. There were a lot of problems on the political side. There are, I don't know if you follow the situation, what's happening in Belarus, but there's a bad guy sitting in power, and he was sitting in power at that time, but it was not as bad as the situation that currently unfolding. But the economically wise, from time to time, there's a economical crisis is happening, and
Hmm.
they've been happening too often. When I came, it was actually the start of another one, and I think I need to come back. So I actually returned. So basically, I spent almost like 6 months outside of the country, and I came back. Actually, like my previous team lead, he was very happy at that point. Like he was. Kind of offering me like a position of a team lead in support, but when I came, there was some structural changes in the company, and the head of support, he was he was hired from outside the company, and he didn't know any employees at all. So I had to go through the entire interview process, and like I was
That seems
waiting.
fair. I mean, if you're going for a promotion, you gotta prove to some folks that not just your
Well, it
buddy trying
happened
to
what it
promote
happened.
you. Yeah.
So
It's like,
I even for the same position that I was doing, I had to go through the entire interview process, and like basically I had to wait till the new head of support will show up and approve me for the same position.
and
Not
did
even
he
for the,
approve you?
of course.
Okay.
So that happened, and obviously, like for me, it was like starting anew on the same spot.
So
So I
from
was.
the team lead position, it was on the World of Tanks billing and support, or just wargaming
Yes.
in general. Okay. Was at
It
the
was billing for wargaming in general, to be
okay.
honest.
Well, yeah, because
Was
I think back then we did like multi-product
We
support.
already had several
uh,
products by then.
Yeah,
okay.
so it
But
was we all the CSRs were actually trained on every product, and like technically we were working every. There was some specialization, but like for the most part, everybody was kind of touching every queue.
yeah, we like there were not so many of the CSRs at that point, and we should have been able to cover each other, like in case
Mm-hmm.
if somebody gets sick. So like we should know like all the products. But at some
Right.
point, there were so many products that it was quite hard to keep up with that. But anyways, so I think we coming closer to the 2016 when well, Doma was already there, and the company decided to have some sort of like a internal tournament, the World of Tanks Open Fire tournament.
I've
Oh, wait.
definitely
We're not
yeah.
gonna wait. We'll talk about
Well,
this
yeah,
when we're
that's
ready
gonna
for the challenge.
the tournament's
That's
gonna
for
be our
later.
segue into the challenge
Yeah.
because
Okay,
we're
Yeah,
gonna be
I
competing.
want to talk a
We
little
got
bit more about your work history because I think what's so interesting about it is that you worked at the original HQ. You came from Minsk. That's where you started. Then you made your way over to the Bay Area, Emeryville, I assume.
yes.
How did you transition from billing and support to go work on the ships team? What did you do when you went to World of Warships?
Technically, chronologically, it was after the tournaments and stuff, but
We'll get to that.
uh,
we gotta stick
so
to the schedule.
So, I know that we had to be like multi-product trained, but as Doma can witness, like most of the CSRs and like most of the people in the company, if they played wargaming products, mostly they were at that point they were playing World of Tanks at most, because that was and still is like the biggest title.
Flagship. Yeah.
Yes. So I think my problem, like my uh, curse and the blessing was that I was playing literally all the titles that Wargaming had to offer. Well, if I was able to play them. For example, I didn't have like a 360 at that time to play the console World of Tanks, but I was checking out what's happening in ships as well from time to time. And at some point, there was a strong need in the uh, support specialist for World of Warships, and they realized that like other than me, there is not so much of a choice. And that's how I got an offer. And actually, I was trying to like, if possible, to well, for me, World of Tanks was still like the main product. and I cared a lot about it. To be honest, I don't know how many hours, days, months, years I spent playing. Like basically, I was working on the product, coming back from work and playing World of Tanks again. That's how it was for me. Then once I switched to the ships team, I actually had like a period when I had to catch up on the ships knowledge, on the mechanics and everything. So like uh, I wasn't playing that much in general, but most of the stuff when I was playing ships because I was hired as a World of Warships specialist, and you can see I have the World of Warships T-shirt. Just because I don't have many of the tanks T-shirts at this moment, but yeah, I was checking out what's happening in World of Tanks from time to time, playing with some of my friends. I actually like one of the things that I can say thank you to World of Tanks once I moved to United States is like I was able to find really good friends within the community like to can you imagine I actually was renting a room in a house uh, just because I met a guy in San Francisco who was a huge fan of World of Tanks, and we platooned a lot together, and we actually like ended up being like quite a good friends.
It's wild. Yeah, I always think about like like I saw somebody posting something recently. And it's like whatever you do, like make sure you meet your online friends, and it's really true. Like
Yeah,
it's crazy. Like I know I have friends to this day that like I'm friends with on Facebook or whatever. That I met on like some random online game in high school, and like we'll like randomly like meet up. It's like somebody you can hit up like when like, oh hey, I'm gonna be in nearby like in a few weeks, like let's go grab a beer or whatever, or where a non-adult beverage of your choice. And it's like when you hang out with them, it's like it's like you saw them yesterday.
Yep.
Like it's
yeah.
it's absolutely wild and surreal to me. Like I last time I was back home visiting my family. Like I went shooting with Goshism. We went to the
Oh,
gun range, and
nice.
like I talk to him like once every few months. Like we're both busy with work or whatever, and it was like again it was like it was like we were back in the CS. I mean, I guess we weren't shooting guns in the CS office, but you know what I mean. It was like we were back on the floor and hanging out, like the old days in CS. Um,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
you got
brings a lot of
friends
memories.
all over the world because
Yeah.
know them from being playing games online. That's how I have. That's actually probably my especially my early gaming career. That's probably why. Well, it is why where I am today, but also like my best friends, my best experiences, really all through the folks that I met playing the games that I loved. And it's kind of funny too because some of the it's very unexpected friendships. Like I one of my
Yeah.
best friends, who I don't talk to very often. We probably we probably check in with each other once a year now because we don't play the same games anymore. But he's like a few years younger than me. Like we have completely different backgrounds, but because we share that one love for that one game and we were always doing it together, like we just have like a lifelong bond. It's amazing. It's amazing what online gaming can do for a social life, I guess.
Yep.
by the way, can we give Tragic a quick shout out in chat for laying down the law in chat and keeping folks chill, because I saw chat was getting kind of spicy earlier, and like we were on a good roll, so I didn't want to interrupt to tell people to calm down. But like as a reminder, everybody, like if you haven't ever been here for Talking Tanks before, we don't do this super often. It's usually like once every 2 weeks, maybe once every 3 weeks, um, and we generally don't play tanks. If you have questions about the update, you're upset that we're not talking about the update. I'm sorry, but we're not here to talk about the update. You want to talk about the update? Come back on Tuesday. Come back on Thursday. We have Q&A streams. We have gameplay streams. We platoon up with viewers sometimes. Like there is a time and place to talk about gameplay. I get it. You're passionate about the update. We are here for you. You know, we're happy to take your feedback. But we're doing something a little bit different today because it's talking tanks day. You know, we're talking tanks. We're not playing tanks. So, yeah, you know, grab yourself a glass of milk, get some cookies, get comfy, relax. You know, maybe play some tanks on your other monitor, and let's just hang out and have a good time. All right.
You're here.
Now
All
that I
right,
have
so,
successfully
yeah.
derailed the Q&A.
Yeah, Demo, you go for it. You pick up wherever you want to pick up.
So we talked about how you transitioned to ships. Um, so like when we moved to Austin, I don't think we talked about that yet because we were talking about
Mhm.
you being
I,
the ship's product specialist. What were
yeah.
you doing when we transitioned to Austin? Did you continue your work as the CS product specialist for ships, or did your role change at all?
Uh, when we were in transition process, I was still working as a product specialist. However, like within few months, once we moved to the Austin, I was actually promoted to customer support manager. And I was basically establishing a process, some processes for customer support in different offices because we had to uh, work with. I'm not going to say the locations, but with international team providing the support for all the languages that we officially supporting for NA. So specifically for English, Spanish, and Brazilian Portuguese. And I think with the Spanish and Portuguese Brazilian teams are like we still working to this day, but like we had some we had at some point we had some international team that was responding to English tickets. Let's say the English was great. However, they were not doing that good when it comes to game mechanics and knowledge of the game in general. So sometimes we ended up having not that great of responses. So at some point we decided to that the knowledge of the game is more important than the knowledge of the language because you can learn the language at some point. And we decided to move for the specifically for ships the customer support to Minsk because we already have the like I said I started as a customer support representative back in Minsk. They have a huge
Yeah.
customer support center. Uh, at first, they responses were really brief, like like here's your reward. That's it. But however, they could actually analyze the problem of a player and give maybe like at that point it was brief, but actually correct response and find a solution. And right now, actually, they improved the game knowledge significantly. So I think that's one
So
of
were
my
you that
achievements.
bridge then between the Minsk team and the
Exactly,
LATAM and yeah. Okay.
exactly. And specifically for an A team, like I was that bridge that would also help them with understanding the cultural differences because let's say English that they learn like in Europe, in Eastern Europe particularly, it's mostly like British English. So I know they still use a written form, but still they're not familiar with many of the idioms and other stuff that people are using here, and they're not familiar with a cultural background. And especially when it comes to rule violations, there were a lot of questions. Let's say that.
So it seems like
Uh,
you were a vital part of that team. How were you able to get off the ships team and move on over to the tanks team? How did that come about? And how did you transition from customer support to now a competitive coordinator specialist?
Competitive gaming specialist.
Yes.
Can't remember the title.
Thank you. Helping me.
Let's say there was some Game of Thrones kind of situation involved on the ship side, but at the same time, like I was never forgetting tanks. That was a passion project of mine, and at that time, uh, I decided just to return to back to the roots. And I was asking, it's not like it happened overnight, but I was asking different cabbage mechanic, for example, or like in general other community and other World of Tanks employees, basically for any open position available. Uh, and it happened to be this one. And why specifically I joined the competitive side, I think the tournament story for the open fire and the one other tournament they actually can explain
Yeah,
that
All right.
that's
like
true.
in the
That's
better
true.
picture.
I think time wise we can. I mean, I guess yeah, we can talk about that and then talk about the challenge, but then we'll do the ranked battles presentation and then we can do the challenge if that's cool with y'all. We got an hour and 20
Yeah,
minutes
tell
left.
us why
So
you jumped ship, Foodprinter. Oh,
jump
you
ship.
can't do that.
That's usually my job to do, but thanks for stealing that. Uh, so, uh, so the first tournament, the first internal tournament that we had, it was quite huge, and I think like from the look of it, I don't know how it looked on the in HQ when they decided to have this. Looks like it was some sudden move, but uh, from announcing it to actually the actual tournament and to the reward prize period. It was a very very brief moment, and that's why I actually won and lost something at the same time.
Oh, that's
Actually, I want Doma to
so
participate in
yeah,
that
yeah.
and tell
So
that story.
okay, so they announced the open fire tournament. You're right. I don't remember how much time we had to form teams and everything,
Like
but
2 weeks or so.
yeah, it was
And this
very
was a
brief.
War Gamers only
It
tournament,
was
right?
yeah,
Like
it's a
corporate.
corporate
Yeah,
tournament. Yeah, so it was
Right.
for wargaming staff
for
only. It doesn't
all
matter,
offices.
what product you're on, whatever. It just wargaming staff only in this tournament, and it was a 3v3 World of Tanks platoon tournament, with an alternate. I was the alternate. Full disclosure, I was the least skilled player on the team, but
Ringer.
I was very very thankful, to have skilled teammates. Although I did play and win some of the qualifiers that we were in, so I did, contributed somehow. Um, yeah, I guess it was kind of the bench warmer, but it worked out to my benefit, which we'll get into. So yeah, we ended up. So it was me, Foodprinter, Goshism, and Big Brother,
Big Brother.
1984 Big Brother. So we were our team name. Our team name was Mad Cause Bad.
I like that one.
MCB as we called it.
Yeah.
We ended up we played the qualifiers, right? The only team that we really lost against was I have the jacket somewhere. I can go grab it in a sec. I think it might be in my closet.
He's Domo's
I
being
do.
modest. He has nightmares about this loss. We've talked about it.
We lost to, gosh, who else was on the team? I know Pizza Storm was on the team. Was Hypnotic on the team as well?
Hypnotic.
Hypnotic, Pizza Storm, and gosh, I can't remember who the heck else.
Yeah.
But it was
Yeah, I forgot.
community
Yeah, about them.
guys and competitive gaming guys. No, Ute wasn't on
Yeah.
the team. Um,
No. Yeah.
no, Ute actually was vital to our victory, because he gave us the game-winning strat. Um, but he wasn't calling for us. Okay, to be clear, he wasn't calling for us. He just helped us with our strat. So we lost to Pizza Storm's team in the qualifiers, but then we pretty much beat every other team that we went against. We got to the semifinals. We won the semifinals. And then in the finals, it was us against Pizza Storm's team. Pizza Storm and
We meet
Hypnotic.
again.
And so the thing is that they had a strat on mines, not mines, sorry,
Cliff. It
Cliff,
was Cliff.
on Cliff, where pizza would go up in the E100. And there's that, like, if you spawn on the, what is it, the north side, and you come south, you go up that little hill to the left side, and there's the rock that's kind of overlooking, like it's parked right in front of the where the hill goes up to the lighthouse. And he was holding down that spot in the E100. I don't remember what other two tanks they had, but like we
They
could
hit
not.
2 butt shots.
Two bat chats. Saying like we could not for the life of us figure out how to break this strat, right? Until we spoke with Ute, and Ute gave us the idea to get Foodprinter in a bat chat and have him drive like unspotted, stay unspotted the whole game, drive all the way around the map, go down like the road in the west side, and then park it in their spawn and just take pot shots at the back of Pizza Storm's E100, while we were cresting the little the ridge in the middle. Um, and yeah, I think they took out they ended up taking out a Foodprinter towards the end, right? But I think Goshism was able to clinch it. And
So,
then
so,
like it
so
was
you,
great.
you
Go
so
ahead.
so I should add to this. So I think I was in the chat as well, but there was Goshism and Big Brother. They both were in IS-7s. And
Right. Right. Okay.
what it ended up having, so they ended up killing me because I was a experienced player, and I was calling. To be honest, they did us a favor because it's much easier to call when you're dead already. You don't have to be distracted.
Sure.
And they ended up fighting like 2 IS-7s against 2 Bachats. And what happened? They near that hill on the next to the lighthouse, and I told them to get closer to the hill because Bachats won't be able to snipe at them from a long distance, and they could appear from both directions. So 2 IS-7s were standing up back to back, covering each side. And so basically, like when bachats appeared, like they couldn't pen any of the I7s unless they get really, really close.
Right.
And
Because
that's how
they're
they
yeah.
ended up losing a lot of HP. And in the end, it was Gosh's with his extreme case of face hugging
Right.
with
Right. Right.
somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
There was a
it
lot
was
of
a very,
crazy
very
face hugs in that tournament.
So to win the
Um,
qualifiers, or what
Well,
game are we
so
talking
so
about?
so so this was like the final of the NA portion, because like each region competed, like NA staff were competing against NA staff. And I remember this very distinctly because for the finals we had like a giant projector screen in the game room, and like I was sitting out because like I was B team. I was on the bench, so I was just there cheering for my teammates, right? Like, come on, guys, win us this trip to Cyprus. So the prize for winning the regional would be to go to Cyprus, to go to HQ and then compete against the winning teams from CIS,
So
APAC,
even
and
the B
EU.
team would get to go to
Well, so I
Cyprus?
was, yeah, so all four of us technically were supposed to go, and the plot thickens a little bit, but I remember distinctly like they had the big projector screen going, and like I guess everybody was rooting for us because people like a good underdog story. Hi, Deathman. People like a good underdog story, and like we were the CS guys, and like CS generally doesn't make as much as people who are like, got big career type of jobs and they're salaried or whatever. So like, not only were like, come on, like, yeah, the underdogs, right? Um, and then besides that, like, everybody knew that like we had lost to them before, and like we were training for a long time. Like I remember we were running training rooms, like practicing, trying to figure out how to beat this strat, right? So it was like a true like comeback, and at the very end, like I remember gosh as it wins, and like the whole river's like, yeah, everybody's cheering, like, I felt a little bad for the other guys because they did a great job too, but I got swept up in the excitement too. And it was a very like very surreal and positive experience.
There's this thing that you're not telling about. Specifically, all of them are related to Big Brother.
Oh yeah, I forgot
First
about the
of all,
rage cage. The rage
What's
cage,
that mean?
right? So Big Brother would
Related?
rage. He would rage a lot. Like he would yell into his microphone, like he'd get very animated. Let's call it animated. All right. But at one
You
point,
would never catch me animated calling a strat. JK, scream alive. Like, what are you
so like
doing?
they
yeah, but
what I said to do.
imagine
So
he's
we're
doing that during working
right
hours when
during
other people working, and
But
he's
it's a
right, right.
competition. You gotta
Well,
win. You gotta win.
right. So long story short, they put him in the playtesting room. So he had his whole room to himself, so he could rage in there. And I remember, like, I think his username was different at the time, um, and we had like a piece of printed paper that said Big Brother's rage cage, and we slapped it on the wall, and then we would just meme it up
I
like
think it was the same. Oh, something
like
happened with my camera.
they're like, Big Brother, are we gonna send you back to the rage cage? So he was playing from the rage cage. That's right. And then he comes running out, all excited, like it was great.
And he even did the cartwheel when we won.
Oh yeah, that's right. He did a cartwheel.
All right, so you won the the NA region
Yeah. So
qualifiers.
I guess, and then the plot
and
thickening
the trip to
would
Cyprus.
be. So do you wanna explain what the big bummer was about the whole situation?
Yeah, so I remember those finals happened on November 1st, 2016. I remember the date because I had to remember it because the winning team would have to travel to Cyprus in 10 days on November 10th. And the thing is, like, I was not the US citizen at that stage. I was still owning the Belarusian passport, and they only then they figure out that apparently not many people in living in the United States with my passport would actually apply uh, for Cyprus visa, and it apparently it takes like at least 2 weeks. And they were trying to expedite the process and everything, but I ended up not getting the visa on time and not going there. And the problem is, like, I was basically a caller for the team. I was a team captain,
Yep.
and obviously without me, it was not a fun experience for those guys to play against the
No.
strongest teams
Oh
from
man.
other regions.
I like they had a video of like they were trying to put together like of a recap video, like a hype reel type thing to share with the rest of the team. And I remember like they had barely any gameplay footage in there from the tournament because like all of our teams were just like swearing like sailors the whole time. So we're like sitting here playing, swearing like sailors, like yelling. And there's just like they had like people from the Cyprus office, like from the HQ office, were like spectating. So there's all these bigwigs. God knows what, how much power and authority these individuals have over me. I'm just a little CSR over here, and I'm just cursing my head off because I'm all of my. Oh, so like there was this play where I learned something against the EU guys is that what you can do is you can poke out your tank in front if you have good camo and you're unspotted at that distance. You can just expose your drive wheel and use that to block a tank that's behind you and is spotted from getting hit. So I shot like 4 shots into the lower glacis plate of this AMX-50B, and I'm like, why is this guy not taking damage? I'm just like losing my mind. It was, oh man. So long story short, they had like barely any actual footage of the tournament in the recap, and more just like footage of us all hanging out, on the tour of
Eating
Cyprus
pizza.
and meeting Victor Kisley and all that. Like, there's like nothing from the tournament because everybody was so intensely playing the game. And the funniest part of it, right? And I think, Foodprinter, you can definitely, I guess, relate to this is that like, I guess what was the biggest bummer, right, about you not going, isn't the fact that like we didn't have a caller. The biggest bummer about you not going is that you didn't get to go on this trip with us. Like it's funny, the story behind my Object 907 before we had like systems for us to like use bonds to get reward tanks, or now we can participate in clan wars. We were all getting dinner, and there may have been some adult beverages with a bunch of the folks who put the tournament together, and with Mr. Kisley, and I remember we all concocted this scheme because the prize was 25,000 gold, and we're like, all right, well, we all have gold drip, like 25,000 gold, yeah, that's a lot of gold, but like we can get gold, like what we can't get are reward tanks. So it'd be really cool if instead of the 25,000 gold, we could get a Clan Wars reward tank, 'cause that'd be like a really special prize to us. And they're like, all right, we'll talk about it, we'll think about it, and then finally like they said yes. So that was cool, but like basically what I'm getting at is like the reward was 25,000 gold, or ultimately a tank, but like the reward was 25,000 gold. The actual cool thing reward was going to Cyprus, meeting the CEO,
Yep.
getting to hang out with all these cool people from around the world. Like we flew through Dubai, which was absolutely brutal because it was like a 16-hour flight and we got no sleep. And it was miserable, but it was still cool flying through Dubai, like the whole thing, and I got paid overtime for it. So like not having our good friend and our captain with us to enjoy that with us, like was a huge bummer. So like it really sucked, not having you there. And
It's
I
still
know it
pretty
would have
cool
been,
that you qualified to go to Cyprus,
Yeah,
right?
it
And
would have been.
and Foodprinter, I understand that though you didn't get to go to Cyprus, you got to go on another trip.
Yes, I
yep,
got my
yep, yep.
redemption the,
That was,
the,
yeah.
the very next tournament. So we had, as far as I remember, we only had two internal tournaments, and the next one happened the next year. And that was a 1 versus 1 tournament. So it was very competitive. Again, against all offices,
Mhm.
but only one person per region will travel as a reward to Tokyo Game Show.
So cool.
And that was kind of huge. I guess just because how expensive it to get there, that's why one person. So it was very competitive, and guess what? In the end, like in the final, in the finals, regional finals, again, I had to fight against Pizza Storm. Again, we meet again, and that was a very tough game. We literally, it was like one of those moments that you can have in the any sports game related movie when they come like hand to hand, and then in the last game, like with the almost like the last shot, like I destroy the enemy tank, and everybody were screaming at that point. I remember, I think it's possible to find somewhere like a short video. It was a video of people in the common area watching the screen with the stream, like basically of us playing like this last game, and that was a very interesting moment because like for like the entire office work stopped completely. Everybody was just like waiting for the results of that match.
That's so
Uh, so
cool.
so yeah, I will actually try to find that video just for you to enjoy. I think it should be somewhere
Yeah,
on the internal service.
we'll look
Yeah,
for
we
it.
can
I mean, I
always we
guess,
can always share it later on too, so people
Yeah.
yeah.
can check it out if we
So
have
you
like
definitely have
So
solidified your spot and reason and experience for why you are in the competitive gaming side of the business now.
yes,
You definitely have
yes.
proven yourself. Man, Tokyo Game Show, that's one of the gaming events that I haven't gotten to yet. I'll put it that way. Hopefully one day. But on that note, Domo Food Printer, maybe this would be a good time to transition to our show and tell portion of the stream. We can talk a little bit about Ranked Battle Season X. What do you think?
Sure, I don't mind. I wanted to I guess touch on one thing that I think was really cool about the whole Tokyo Game Show experience, and that is that
Did you get to
Foodprinter.
go to demo?
No, no, no. It's
No.
funny because
Oh, oh.
Goshism and 1984 Big Brother and I were actually like we started looking up flights to Tokyo because we wanted to just fly out there and go support Foodprinter. But with PTO and everything, it just didn't work out, which is kind of sucks because I remember we found actually super cheap flights through like East China Air or something. Um, and like we are just like, do we have the PTO to just like on a whim go, fly to Tokyo for like a week, and it didn't pan out. But Foodprinter got to play at Tokyo Game Show on a team with Victor Kisley, which is pretty freaking cool.
And that's
I
actually
never
What
got
quite
to
a
did you
play
nice
with
need
him.
with
story.
that? I'm like,
Uh, the way it was planned, basically each winner from each region is basically gonna join the team, but join the team that will compete against other companies and players on Tokyo Game Show. The thing is, like, it's still 7 versus 7 team, and we only had 4 regions. So obviously, somebody from the management, from the high management, wanted to participate in it. And apparently, they're doing this like on a yearly basis, mostly unsuccessful because like it's usually the team that is not playing together at all. It's just like random people just deciding, okay, let's play together. Who's gonna call? And at that point, actually, there was a talk like, so who's gonna call? And they heard apparently that I was calling for these guys a year before, so they all said like, oh yeah, this guy's gonna be calling. And then like when Victor shows up, like people from like higher management, and like and I have to tell them where to go and what to do. That's a very
A little bit
interesting
stressful.
opportunity
A
that
little bit stressful.
it was. The fun
well,
the
okay. I need to know, Foodprinter, how is obedient the right word? Did they listen to your calls, your strats?
You would be surprised. Victor was the only one who was listening to me. Yeah, he was always following the commands. Like
Mhm.
I think he's actually playing a lot of in a platoon with his friends and
Yeah.
somebody from Wargaming. So he got used to this. However, there were some folks from other departments who's not like they playing the game, but not on the competitive side. So
Oh
like
my
uh,
gosh.
th-
I always
they
appreciate a good
played as
strat
a
caller.
yeah,
I would
but
have been listening. I've
basically
been like, tell me where to go.
yeah, but when you start playing the game, like when you switch to over to the competitive side, you have this habit of trying to play the best as you can as a random player instead of actually dedicate yourself to following the commands.
Yeah,
Like
I guess coming from like a team-based, I mean,
yeah,
I mean, I like competitive modes in games, and I like to play as part of a team, whether I'm the strat caller or the person following the strats. So, I mean,
so
I appreciate it. That's something that I look for. I'm like, please call the strats. I'm down to execute on a strat. That's my favorite thing to do when I'm playing a game, especially if I'm on a team with other people.
so
Same.
the only good thing that actually happened on the very first day of Tokyo Game Show is basically we won the first friendly competition against other companies on the Tokyo Game Show. And I was told that was the only case, but it happened like for our gaming team. So okay, I think I like help. So yeah, I think that's basically it behind the story. Oh, one brief thing. Uh, so right after I got back from the Tokyo Game Show trip, a month later, I accepted a position as a product specialist for Wall of Warships. I know it doesn't make sense, but that's how it happened.
Now
Well,
you're back.
And now I'm back.
sometimes life just works like that, right? Okay,
Yeah.
So now, yeah,
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 now
you're back. Tell us about your project.
we can transition into the presentation. So Foodprinter has a nice little PowerPoint to share with us, and so we can kind of bring everybody up to speed on kind of what you can expect with Ranked Battle Season 10. If you read the article in depth, there probably isn't going to be, there won't be too many major revelations for you. But if you're not
This is a
super
good
familiar,
opportunity to get familiar, ask some questions in chat if there's something that you want to know that maybe isn't made clear.
exactly. And keep in mind, I guess something a perspective for y'all to consider is that Foodprinter does not design ranked battles. He is not responsible for all these gameplay features. So, if you've got questions or suggestions for tremendous, humongous gameplay reform, probably won't be
I
able to
can
make them
pass them
happen
along.
by himself. But exactly, so he's not going to be able to make anything happen by himself or with the flip of a switch. But the ranked battles devs, as the competitive gaming devs are in general, are receptive to feedback. We have seen, even in this season, which you'll find out, there are some changes made based on player feedback. So, by all means, feel free to send those suggestions over. But just keep an open mind and be aware that nothing's gonna happen overnight, since there's a process for these types of things. So with that segue, I'm gonna hit my magic button, and hopefully that will bring up the PowerPoint. Let's see how it goes. Boom. There it is.
There you
Okay,
go.
cool.
It
So
worked.
I'm controlling it. So just Foodprinter. When you want me to move to the next slide, just let me know.
Yeah, I mentioned the Doma name, the Saint Doma, helping me with the presentation. However, on Monday we start the new ranked battle season. It's gonna be called Season X, not 10. Or you can remember the story of iPhone X or 10, but it was actually X as well. Why it's called this way? Because it's experimental for us. We actually gonna try some new mechanics, and if you can switch the next button, please, Damo, we can actually see those new changes that being
Okay.
proposed.
All right. There we go.
Master of slides. Isn't that what you were calling him
Master of
earlier?
slides. Yes, exactly. I actually don't see that from here. Let me give me a brief moment.
Oh yeah, sorry.
I'm
It's
gonna.
kind of.
So
I know I
Season
got
X
the.
Yeah, yeah.
is
So
purely an experiment, right?
yes,
That's what
yes,
you were
it's
saying?
experiment. We want to hear. Basically, developers are requesting, not requesting. Basically, they gonna follow. They gonna collect data on how it's gonna uh, progress from here. Well, obviously they're going to hear your feedback. We're going to collect feedback after one day, after a week, after the end of the event, basically to see how do you like the changes, how they working for you, and decide whether we want to keep those changes for future ranked battle season. Who knows, maybe some of those changes will even end up being added to some additional modes or even random battles. We'll see. But those changes are I'm gonna list them shortly, and I'm gonna mention them later in details. But basically, what we're gonna change is the format of the game is gonna be changed from 15 versus 15 to 10 versus 10. The duration will be shorter. It will be 2 weeks instead of 3. We're gonna rework the progression system because the current progression system is adjusted to 15 versus 15, so it should be adjusted a little. Plus, the season is shorter, so we have to take that into consideration. Something that you might like or not, but again, we're gonna listen to the feedback. But there's gonna be only one SPG and 2 lightings limit per team. So we will see how that's gonna work in ranked battles. They're gonna be slightly rework a role model. I know it was mentioned to you previously. It's mostly gonna be the same. However, there are some minor changes made to this. And in terms of reward, since it's gonna be a very short season and it's a test season, there's not gonna be any reward tanks introduced. However, there's going to be new equipment introduced, and I'm going to mention it a bit later. Like for those on the competitive side, they will find this equipment quite interesting. However, I want to mention that for a brief period, I'm not going to say like how long exactly, that's going to be unique equipment that can be only earned in this ranked season. Soon, maybe it will be added to the bond premium shop, or there will be some additional ways to distribute, maybe in the clan bond shop. I don't know for sure. Like we're gonna decide on that later. But here are the main changes. So let's jump to the next slide, please. The magic button.
Okie doke. I just want to mention
There you go.
to no one in particular that refusing someone's answer to your question does not mean that they did not attempt to answer it.
Yes, we will actually do some Q&A section after this. So right now we're just doing this presentation. So covering the 10 versus 10 format. Why we're doing this? So we trying to reduce the number to 10 per team because the maps are going to be mostly the same. However, having less players on the team will create more tactical opportunities for the team because having the less players, like each teammate is going to be more important, and on average, player will survive more unless he's gonna uh, face a lot of enemies at the same time, completely unsupported. And plus, each player can influence on the result of the battle more. So if you actually decent at what you're doing, you will have a higher chance of actually progressing further in the rank season, despite of your team's success. Even if you lost, there's still a chance of either keeping the chevrons or actually winning them. And obviously, we're gonna adjust the matchmaker accordingly because the team is gonna be reduced, and there will be only 2 light tanks and 1 SPG limit in each team. Okay, that's
Next slide.
yes,
All right.
yes,
I
please.
think I like from my experience with brawl mode, as well as what I've heard from a lot of players, is that like with 10v10 you can take bigger risks, and that's kind of one of the fun things about a smaller format, is that you can go for these crazy plays that like otherwise are much less likely to pay off in a random battle where there's 30% more players that can punish you for your crazy decisions. So in that sense, like it is not necessarily, it doesn't necessarily have to be more dynamic, but there is the potential to do things that would normally feel kind of ill-advised in a random battle.
Yep, exactly. So I think it should be obvious why we making the duration of events shorter. So usually ranked season lasts 3 weeks. This one will be lasting 2 weeks only. However, it's mostly test season. We want to see how those changes are going to be perceived by players, and if all or some of the changes you will like, they will probably end up being added to the regular season. And since it's a test season, you should understand that like annual reward and stuff like that, they won't be represented. Like basically, it will be separate from like annual rewards and other systems. Can we jump to the next slide, please?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, the master of the button. So we are reworking the progression system specifically for the season X. We'll be adjusting it, obviously because of the size of the team will be smaller. And considering that it's going to be shorter, there's going to be less chevrons requirement in order to and up to the rank 1. So it's going to be reduced from 102 to 94. So 94 chevrons, and you should be able to get to the rank 1. As you can see, like before and after for boss victorious and the losing team, like considering that the team is much smaller, technically you actually have more chances of earning and not losing your chevron during the game. Once again, that should be all that information should be available in the article. And if you have any questions on that, I will be happy to reply to those like after the presentation is over. Can you hit that button again, Tomo? I know there's a lot of text. I'm gonna try to make it shorter. You might be familiar, we have the role experience system, and we've been working on that for quite a while. Many of them are already familiar to you. However, we want to make them even more visible and understand, and we want to adjust some of them to better represent what's happening in the battlefield. So, for example, like heavy tank destroyers, like Jack Panzer 100, other super heavy ATDs with a great armor. They shouldn't just block damage and trade HP sitting somewhere in the on the borderline. They should actually be active. Like they should be frontline like pushers, I would say. Like they should deal damage at the close range because they have the armor that allows them to do so. Or, for example, assault medium tanks like Object 43U and other like mediums that are pretty fast and have decent armor and good gun. They will now gain roll XP for blocking damage, trading HP. We also kind of
Oh no.
adding a new role called the versatile heavy tank, like Super Conqueror, for example, T125. It's not just limited to those things, but you're probably familiar. Some tanks are quite mobile, have a lot of armor, have really decent gun. They basically need to block damage, trade HP, deal damage, do what traditional heavy tank is supposed to do on the battlefield. One thing that we want to add specifically in this season is we want to add the indication when the role, the specific role action specific to the role of your vehicle will be performed. So if you make an action during the game that is specific to the vehicle that you're using, you should see the specific icon in the battle event panel. So it will be counted, and in addition to that, you should be able to see and understand if you're using the vehicle like the right way. I would say
So,
there's
Foodprinter,
there's all
I
yes.
have a question for you about this. So I heard from players in the past that
Mhm.
some of the roles weren't necessarily ideal, or some of the ways in which certain tanks were earning role
Mhm.
XP seemed to prioritize dealing damage in a lot of cases.
Mhm.
Have I know that the role XP has been tweaked a little bit. But was it only essentially, was it like, or do we just add more classes, or like, or add the new role, or have any changes been made to say how a medium tank earns role XP versus a heavy tank, or is that all kind of be going to be the same for now, and then we'll take feedback on it and then make changes in the future?
That's one of the reasons why we were doing this test as well. We did some minor changes, we did some tweaks. However, like those aren't final. Developers are still looking into this. They're looking for the feedback, and obviously, the feedback with this season is going to be very crucial. So we'll see if I'm pretty sure that the the work on the tuning in the role experience system is not finished, and I think it's far from being finished. So
Okay.
it's being looked at. And
Cool.
actually, like it's not covering that much in this slide. However, if you check the article, there's a lot of information explaining each role, and there's a lot of roles, and showing the example of each tank from for this role. So, like you mentioned before, like when we just started talking about this, there's an article that is very, very detailed. So, what we're
I
talking
put the
about
link
is,
in chat, by the way.
yes, thank you very much for that. So I know sometimes a wall of text is not exactly what you want to deal with, but if you really want to know more about that, like that's the best way to find that information.
Good.
So I guess
Sounds
we can
good.
jump to the next slide for now. And the next slide is going to be concerning rewards. So like I mentioned already, there's not going to be any reward or rank tokens or anything. However, you will still earn bonds, credits, and unique equipment. The improved compressor, it's already mentioned in the article, is one of that unique equipment that will be added to the game, and it will be available like to earn only in this specific mode temporarily. At some point, it will be added to the game, but for now, this is the only way to earn that equipment. But wait, there's more. You can earn new directives, fuel filter replacement. It actually in addition to the improved compressor, it allows to boost the engine characteristics of the vehicle even more. So I know they will be limited. However, together with the improved compressor, they can add some spice to ranked or to random or clan battles. Obviously, they're going to be limited, but for for some period of time until we decide to actually add it to the game on a regular basis. You won't be able to accumulate the new cumulative discount. Sorry for my English. Um, but you will be able to use your previously accumulated personal discount purchases for bonds. So the bond shop will be still open for you, and you can use any discounts you previously accumulated in previous ranked seasons and buy whatever you want. Since you're going to earn some more bonds, why not? And don't forget, so we just opened the new battle pass season. So you can actually earn the battle pass points by playing the ranked battles as well. So they will be counted for your vehicles. And I think that should be it for the
Yep.
presentation.
We
I,
just got
I guess we
the.
can make the ranked battles great again. Yeah.
Okay.
So probably we can answer some questions now.
Well, I've got a question right off the bat. So
Yes.
just as a reminder for everyone in chat, what Foodprinter just presented is part of a ranked battles experiment. So the
Yes.
changes that are being introduced are only going to be introduced for this season, unless World of Tanks receives feedback from players, and based on data from the games that these changes are good for the game. So my question to you, Foodprinter, is how can folks share their feedback
Uh,
on what they think of these changes?
Forums, Discord,
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna
any.
be. I'm definitely gonna be putting up a
Yeah.
feedback thread on the forums. So
Okay.
that will
Yeah.
be the, I guess, the lowest effort way to do it, since everyone already has a forum profile.
Yeah.
So if
So
you log into the forums, Wargaming community feedback request sub forum, there will be a thread there for ranked battles season X feedback. And then of course, like Foodprinter was saying, also Discord. You can also, if you have, your favorite CCs, you can provide your feedback to the CCs. I'm sure they would be happy to advocate on the behalf of their respective communities. So yeah, any way you can provide that feedback, as long as it gets to us, we'll make sure to add it to the sentiment report.
And in addition to that, like obviously, we're gonna collect the info, like statistical information, and analyze it, because it also pretty important to understand
And
like
I
if
think
some
there,
of the feature works or not.
I think we've done in-game surveys as well for ranked battles, so there might be one of those going out. Oh, that's kind of up to the survey team.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm assuming with this being an experimental season, I'm sure that there's going to be, they're going to be trying to collect as much data as possible. So I'm guessing there will be some surveys as well. Keep an eye out for those.
Hmm. So yeah, let's maybe see some questions if players have some.
Yeah, I've been keeping an eye on chat. Haven't seen many questions coming through. I've seen a few comments about the 10v10 format, which seem pretty
Hmm.
positive. This one is from Sutek002. On the positive side, I'm looking forward to trying the 10v10 format for ranked battles. And then there are a couple of more. I'll scroll up. But I didn't really see any questions. Guys, this is your chance. If you have any questions about the experimental season of ranked battles, we've got Foodprinter here who will do his best to answer if he knows the answer. So if you have any
So
burning questions.
maybe I could kind of paraphrase not really a question, but I've seen several people raising this concern, and I don't want to put you on the spot, Foodprinter, because I'm not sure if you have an answer you can actually share for this. But I guess some folks, there is definitely kind of a group of players. I'm not sure how big that group is. It might be quite large. I have no estimate. However, I have seen this feedback as far as some players would prefer that the losing team doesn't get any chevrons, because I've definitely seen the argument raised that there are those, like, it promotes passive play, because if a team decides, like, if somebody, a player on the team decides that there's no chance that they're going to win, then they will just hang
Hmm.
back at the red line and try to snipe as much damage, farm as much damage as they can, so that they can get the chevron for being top on the losing team. And then convert on the flip side, I guess, like what Exo mentioned, is that he feels like, if basically, if I fulfill my role and I do my job, then I should get chevrons no matter what my team does. So
Hmm.
by that logic, like, if we are giving chevrons to the losing team, like, why is it only the top one?
Uh, Yeah, I actually understand this, and that's actually a pretty good suggestion. Like, I see that this is not exactly like the question is more of a proposition on how to make it better, and I will obviously pass it along. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. It actually reminds me a lot of battle pass progression, because you can still earn some battle pass points even if you lost. It's just going to be slightly reduced. So we'll see. I'm gonna pass it to the development team. But to be honest, like I can pass it along. I cannot guarantee it's gonna
Of
be
course.
introduced.
Of course. I mean, devs are always taking feedback from all regions, and they've got their internal data that they're working with as well. So, like, I completely understand the mindset too of, like, well, we have a hypothesis for how something is going to work based on our data and our, collective knowledge, right? So, as with every hypothesis, you have to test it, and some hypotheses, I guess, require more testing than others. So, I mean, there
Hmm.
have been changes. We've seen numerous changes to the Chevron system, right? So, I think it's pretty safe to say that nothing is set in stone, and it's possible that those things will continue to change, quite possibly in a more positive direction in whoever's, depending on how you feel about it one way or another. So yeah, I think that's a solid suggestion. So I think it might be a good time to start moving on to the challenge segment. maybe if folks, if you have
Sure.
any questions, maybe aside from feedback, again, there will be an opportunity to provide more feedback. So, don't potentially feel ignored if we don't get to your feedback on stream. And if you do have some questions, any curiosities or whatever that Foodprinter can answer before we segue here, feel free to ask your questions. Mm-mm-mm.
All right. So while you guys load up your game for the challenge, I've got a question for Foodprinter.
Mhm.
Are there any projects that you're working on now that you can talk about? Anything you can hint
Uh,
at?
well,
And the answer can
cannot
be no.
disclose. I cannot disclose any details. Like I think, like I mentioned briefly the summer season for clans. So that's currently in the works, and hope to uh, that the article will be published pretty soon with all the details. So if you on the competitive side, specifically on the like if your clan is active and you are active with your clan on the global map, usually that's probably one of those good news for you, specifically because the current season 16 is going to be over at the end of the month on June 30. As far as I know, as well, in addition to like basically wrapping up the season 16, we're gonna have like a short playoff tournament for those teams who I think the top 40 teams, the top 40 clans, basically will be participating in the additional tournament where they will be able to earn some gold, some bonds, and uh, some reserves for the clan reserves, basically.
Very cool.
So Foodprinter,
So yeah,
I'm sending you an invite.
I'm still loading. Sorry,
Okay, no worries,
my
no worries.
I have so many tanks in my garage, so it's still sinking.
So, okay,
Thank
another
you.
question for you while you're loading then. Do you have a favorite ship and a favorite tank?
I for the ship question, I would say not the ship specifically, but the class. I like destroyers. They when I uh, got the position of the uh, product specialist, and like I had to basically play more ships instead of tanks. The fact that ships are huge but very slow was quite a deal breaker for me. I wasn't a good player at ships. I still consider myself a decent, but I wanted to get some speed. And destroyers were small, but they were quite fast and maneuverable. I died pretty fast in many of the games, but it was worth it.
And wait, what's your favorite tank?
Uh, what my favorite tank? Uh, we keep adding new ones, and sometimes I keep discovering some old gems. I would say probably one of those tanks that I like to play sometimes just to relax. Obviously, if it's an open map, because it wouldn't be that fun to play it on the Himmelsdorf, for example. But that would be the US Scorpion. It's
The
a
baby
tiny
Scorp,
destroyer.
the tier 7
Yeah,
Scorpion. Yep. The baby
yeah.
Scorp. I love that thing. After that, when it got the little bit of buffs, oh man, it's so fun to play.
Even without the buffs, I always like this
Well,
tank. I don't know why.
I'm not god tier at World of Tanks like you are, so
I'm
the
not
buffs
to
helped
be
me.
honest. Like like yeah, I don't know what the challenge is gonna be. We can actually
Yeah,
We're
I can
gonna
tell
do
ask
a
everyone.
players maybe.
yeah, we're gonna do a
So,
1v1.
yeah, so that's what Domo and Foodprinter are getting ready for now. That's why you're seeing the training room on the screen. It looks like you're going to be playing in Ghost Town, and that's why I put that
Send
prediction Google form. That's why I put that Google form link in chat so that you could predict who you think is going to win this face-off. It is going to be a 1v1 situation with Domo and Foodprinter. They're going up against each other. And if you choose if you predict wisely and you choose the correct winner of the challenge, you'll be entered into a raffle for Tragic Losses Mystery Prize Giveaway. All right, so I'll put that link for so that you can make your prediction again. It is a Google form. I'll put that link in chat again while we figure out where is Foodprinter. Did all of his hundreds of thousands of tanks load yet? I see.
Yes.
I think it looks like you're online.
So let's do.
Which
You want to do tier 9?
no, it was just loaded for me at that point.
Okay.
Which tanks are we doing?
Do
Do we have any
tier 9?
specific tanks? Or, yeah, we can do tier 9.
I kind of feel like playing my 430 just for funsies. So do you want to do tier 9 mediums? Does that sound fair?
Yeah. Is there any specific tank that I need to pick? Because to be honest, like
whatever. I'm gonna lose no matter what you pick. So I mean, like,
not, I wouldn't be so sure. Like after playing too many ships, I'm not as good as I used to be.
Hey, so by the
For
way,
sure.
This way.
do you still do that thing where you zoom in and out with your scroll wheel while you're driving around?
Yes.
So
yes,
there you
I
guys
still do that.
chat. That is the secret pro tip. If you want good stats like Foodprinters, you
No,
actually get
don't
better
do that.
RNG if you just zoom in and out, in and out, in and out while you're driving around. I hate watching his replays because the camera is constantly just like zoom, zoom, zoom.
Let's try this
Oh,
one.
gosh,
I don't know.
goodness.
Okay, well you're giving yourself a handicap here, so
technically,
the-
yeah. But
you've got since we're gonna be kind of close quarters, and you've got the kind of lightly armored ridgeline sniping medium, and I've got the slightly better frontal whole armor plus the chunky turret.
So I've got
like
a
I
question.
said,
Since you
yeah.
guys know which tanks you're each going to be playing in, are you going to equip your tanks differently, or how are you going to approach this face-off?
I didn't bother equipping it,
Yeah,
in any special
it's
way.
the same.
It'll just be a gentleman's duel,
Yeah.
As far as the map,
to
since we
be
don't
honest,
have. Sorry, go ahead.
actually, let's do the following. Like I know, depends on this. So it's gonna be this map. Like I can still lose to you like in any of the tanks. I have most of the tier 9 tanks. If our viewers want to pick a tank for me, the one that I'm
let's do
going
that.
with them.
Chat, just sound off in chat. What tank do you want Foodprinter to play? He's got most of the tier 9s.
You trust chat to choose wisely? I don't
So
know.
I had this thing already, and I think in one of the streams, or oh no, that was in Discord together with, and that was it didn't go fun because they picked MX40 for me to play with, like and I ended up being on a Prokhorovka, slaughtered completely.
Oh god. So we got a few suggestions in chat. The first one was from Richard98. Said 430 versus 430. Harambe Knights said T95. Bitwise said TVP TPU. So I'm guessing he's talking about the Skoda because we're tier 9
Yeah,
tanks, but
probably.
AE phase 1. Any of those sound good?
I
we got
only
more,
had like
more suggestions. We got the CS59.
So I think. So let me tell you exactly. I had 3 battles in phase 1, so I guess it will be fair to play against you.
Okay.
Because I have no idea like how this tank works.
I have.
All right, guys. I was gonna just remind everyone: get your predictions in. Get your predictions in. You get your predictions in now, because once the battle starts, you won't be able to predict who could be the winner. Sorry, back to you, Domo.
No, you're good. You're good. I was
what
just
are you
gonna
getting?
say I'm gonna run the object 430, and I
Okay.
only have 12 battles in it, so
Okay.
not that many more.
So with this one, it was released during like when I was not playing that much, and to be honest, I don't know the armor profile on this, so You have an
It's-
advantage,
Okay.
probably.
Just for the most part, it's pretty much standard American
Don't
heavy.
tell.
You know,
Don't tell.
front of the turret is good, and it's got decent gun
I guess.
depression. It's a
As
gentleman's
someone
duel. You know?
who doesn't play any competitive tanks right now, just because I don't feel confident in my skill set, I want to know: is this like the tactic of like really competitive players? Is to downplay how good you are and like to let your opponent know, oh, don't worry, you're gonna roll over me. You got this demo, or you got this food printer. Is that your tactic of like
I've
tricking them, like a mind game? Like I'm not really that good. You know, I don't even play this game anymore. I don't even know why I'm here.
I'm not sure if it is, but I again going back to the Tokyo Game Show tournament, I have played against Foodprinter in a 1v1 and lost miserably, so I know I'm in for a fight.
Oh,
That
spoiler
was
alert for
long
those
time
of you
ago.
that chose Domo.
Apparently, some people
I have
voted
faith
for
in
me,
you,
so
Domo.
I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna do my best here. So, are we ready to
Alrighty.
fire it up?
I think
Yeah,
so.
sure.
Tragic. Have we closed off predictions? Can we go live with this face off? Tragic's chat, or maybe the voice of Tragic. The vote split is closer to 50-50 than you think. Go for it. All right, go for it. Shannon.
I apologize in advance, everyone who voted for me.
Same can.
Hopefully, the
It will be
mystery
fun when
prize
you're gonna
isn't that
win.
good.
You're both gonna do
Then
great.
it was like bad player in a 430 versus good player in a AE. Bad player wins. Like, okay, I appreciate your faith. I am indeed the bad player, so we'll see how it goes. Do you want to just
So-
kind of keep it central so we aren't driving around the whole map, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, let's do this.
So we can kind of let's just agree to keep on the city block.
Yeah, I'm probably not gonna shoot gold at you because it's a heat, and I don't wanna have, to heat your trucks. And I just did
How much pen do I have?
whatever.
238. That should be enough for the phase one.
Hey, and I don't hear my game.
Steamroller in chat says no predetermined areas. And Sarge RNG says, imagine not shooting heat.
To be honest, like I don't want to play 15 minutes trying to play seek and hype with Domo because he's fast.
Yeah, and I remember
we
that
want
was
to
kind of one
be-
of the issues with the 1v1 tournament was that there was a whole lot of driving around and like
Yeah.
we had mitten guard back then. We don't have mitten guard anymore, so
Ooh. I saw the tree falling.
And I hold down without getting shot here.
Russian army, Russian tanks. Except I'm Russian Soviet tank. Look, I didn't ping you.
Did you hit my turret?
Yep.
Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. No. What?
What happened?
Oh no.
Wait, so you're playing a
Oops.
heavy versus a medium. Is this fair?
Yep.
This is what we
It
decided.
is
I mean,
fair.
I have lots of alpha on this gun, so it's not necessarily
Yeah, he still
unfair.
have all his chances.
I'm like blind firing and still penning, apparently. Yeah, I should be using my mobility to the advantage here a little bit. Woo!
Yep.
Oh, come on. I'm going to waste my repair kit on this turret and probably regret it. Uh-oh. No. No.
No. Ah, burn. God damn it.
Oh, God. Run away.
What?
Run away. Hey,
You're not in French tank.
M100,000. I never claimed to be a good player.
I'm not
So
as good as well.
I make great use of auto aim.
To be honest, those shots that I didn't pin you, all of them were out of aim.
Yeah, and I think like that's right about where the turret starts because the tank is pretty low.
I'm surprised you didn't pin that shot like when I missed you.
The
But,
gun depression. The
you know,
gun depression got me.
it was,
I couldn't bring my gun down any lower, so it went at your turret.
what can I say? You have a happy Russian tank. I have the very depressed tank with a great gun
The
depression.
happiest crew
So
in
are
the
we gonna do
world.
best 2 out of 3? Do we want to switch
Okay.
up the tanks?
Do we
Wanna
have
try
I will
again?
switch to
time? Do we
Samsung.
have time for best two? Yeah, we do. We got 15
Almost
minutes.
like, please,
Let's do it.
we don't have time.
So
I
what
would
should I
do
play
Domo.
now?
Chat, what do you want Foodprinter to play? And I will do my best to try hard and counterplay him.
EXO 6
257.
for like a mirror match.
So Borg said IS7 versus IS7. EXO said 257 versus 250. Do I have a 257?
I
Oh,
think like
Randall, brutal.
I do.
so. Are we switching tiers?
I guess
Or
we're doing tier 9. We're gonna do 257 versus 257. Do I have a crew for this tank? I don't think I do.
do I have a 257? I
Uh,
actually don't have 257.
okay. Well, it sounds like we're doing IS7s,
At
my
least
friend.
purchased. IS7. Okay. That should be not fun for me. Okay.
Did I retrain my IS7 crew? No, I didn't. Good. Or we can do. I have a 277. We could do 277s. Let's do IS7s. Whatever.
Whatever you choose for me, to
Let's
be honest.
do the classic. We'll do IS7s.
It's a nice
Oh.
style you got there.
I should probably bring equipment though.
What suggest you do?
What do you like? Cause rammer, vertical stabilizer, and then modified configuration or
Thrasher says vents,
vents.
Tremor, LB.
Hey man, nice shot. Says be nice to Foodprinter. Hold on. I don't have a whiteboard marker, but he's gonna know that reference. It's the Matthew.
You don't have a what? What'd you say?
So hey man, nice shot. Is another one of the wargaming stuff. He worked with us in CS. And he always like would send out the meme of Matthew McConaughey in Interstellar when he's standing next to the whiteboard and he's holding a whiteboard marker and he's pointing at the camera. So that's why I grabbed my highlighter and I pointed at the camera. Yeah, it's a very silly reference, I know. So vents, rammer, and stabilizer. All right. All right.
You to always face hug. Nice 7.
So we're just gonna.
That's a game that Goshen
Oh.
used to be great.
Yeah, that's an IS7 face hug is actually what sent us to Cyprus. So you know.
Yeah.
Slim
Alright.
Rock says yell Russia when you shoot. It helps. Is that true?
Yell Russian?
Yell. I think he says yell Russia. I don't know. I feel like it would be culturally insensitive.
So
of me to do that.
I'm not from Russia originally. Just saying, I speak in Russian, but
But the
I'm
tank
not
is
from
Russian.
Russia.
The IS-7
Yeah,
is
I
though.
know.
You know. So I don't know.
It's not Russian. It's Soviet.
Well, that's true. That's a good point. That country doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, I was born in a country that doesn't exist. And the fun part, it has a socialist in it.
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
So
my
is it
brother
the
was
same rules
born.
as
You see, I mean, basically same deal, right? My
Yeah.
brother was born in '89, and
Mhm.
my family is from Poland. So like, when my brother was born, he was technically a Soviet citizen, I guess.
Well, Poland was not a part of the Soviet Union.
It was a Soviet satellite at the time, though.
Yes, but it was not a
Oh.
part of Soviet Union.
I shows how much I know my history.
There you go.
Okay.
Shooting on the move.
They're
because I
telling me
know-
to face hug, but Trying to hold down. My mouse sensitivity is way too high too, and I'm just flying all over the place, which is not helping.
Mouse sensitivity,
Change it
but
on the fly
we're not
on
using
your
mouse.
Oh, that's a dad joke if I ever heard one.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know Foodprinter, he's got some of the best dad jokes on the team. No, my
That
gun!
should
I
be
need
fun.
that! I need that to shoot you with.
Oops. Oh, a little hug.
Oh,
Oh, dude! So I rocked my tank backwards, and then as I
oh,
rocked it
what's
forward, I
happening?
got enough gun depression to hit your lower plate.
Hello. How's it going?
I guess we're face hugging. Chat keeps yelling at me to face hug, so I'm face hugging.
Yep, you probably should do that. Look.
Did I just track you by ramming? I mean, I'll take it. So, fair warning, food. This is not intentional, but I only have 2 more AP shells, so I am unfortunately going to be
That's okay.
slinging gold pretty soon here. No, 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 no! Come on! Oh man, this is not looking too good. Oh come on!
Hello.
No, 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 no. Just listen. Just let me get it. Just get a quick track shot, okay? Just, no, stop bullying me. I'm sorry, Team Domo. It's not looking good for the tragic lost mystery prize. Oh no!
Leaving you, Domo.
No,
You
no,
can do.
no!
Something happened.
Yeah, something happened. All right.
To be honest, I'm good. I'm not good at this game at all. It just happened to be not as good in your IS7 Skagi.
In fairness, I barely play the IS7, and I'm very bad.
Yeah.
But there you go.
Well,
Team Foodprinter is victorious. So if you voted for Foodprinter, you are
You're
being
in the
entered
raffle.
into the raffle for the tragic loss mystery prize.
GG's, gentlemen. GG's. And you both are such good sports taking suggestions from chat.
Heck
I
yeah,
probably
we're
would've
here.
had-
We're here to entertain the people.
Yep.
So let me
Not entertain.
swap us back to big head mode.
Okay,
And
so
here
while
are our giant heads.
tragic is pulling the winners, and before we announce the winners, Foodprinter. So we know that you play ships, we know that you play tanks. When you're not playing either of these games, what games are you playing, or even what hobbies do you have outside of gaming?
I actually play a lot of Total War series, the historical ones, like basically the ROM, medieval, Shogun, all of that. I'm not a huge fan of the Warhammer stuff they have because what's the point? I'm playing the historical like worship war games related games in order to reenact some of the historical events, but I don't. I'm not familiar with any historical events with orcs and dragons and other stuff. But yeah, I actually like really like history in general. So I don't know. I can't say that my history teacher back in school did that amazing job, but she did for sure amazing job at interest me in this aspect, in this I would say science, because
Okay.
to be honest, there's a lot of stuff going. Like if you're looking down in time, there's a lot of interesting events happen back. So that and like recently I've been playing a lot of the what's it being called? Du-du-du. Just for the competitive, not the competitive, but the co-op side of the events. Deep Rock Galactic.
Oh yeah,
It's
that game is great. I love that game. Yeah,
yeah, it's so fun.
we gotta play soon because there's they released a bunch of updates. It's
Yeah,
a very
yeah,
very chill co-op game with good vibes.
yeah.
So,
So,
Tragic said that she has the winner.
Yeah, what chat are you in? Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Oh.
So,
You want to do the honors?
oh yeah, let me check Discord because she probably said in Discord maybe.
Oh yeah, it's in Discord. I was in the wrong channel.
Gotcha.
But I
Okay,
see it.
so
I know who the winner is.
all right, we have our winner. Little drum roll going. Our winner is Commander. Do you want to announce it?
Oh, sure. Yes. Hyperman. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Hyperman!
Hyperman. Are
Hyperman,
you
come
in
on
chat?
down.
Come on down. You must be here in chat.
Must be presence
Prize.
to win, Hyperman.
That's right. Hyperman.
Not to be
Congrats.
confused with Hyper Turtle. This is Hyperman.
Hyperman. Hyperman. You won Tragic Loss Mystery Prize. Let's go.
Going
Great.
once.
Uh-oh. Reroll. Okay, everyone's voting for a reroll. Going twice.
Twice.
Hyperman, are you there? You got to say something in chat quickly.
There
Oh,
he
I'm
is,
here.
Hyperman.
Oh,
All right,
Hyperman,
Hyperman, the winner,
Hyperman.
the winner of the mystery prize. Congrats, Hyperman.
Congratulations.
Congrats on your accurate and very well thought out prediction. Team Domo, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry because I told you not to vote for me and you did it anyway. So thank you.
well, I mean,
but you did this to
be
yourselves.
fair, you kind of only shared that you lost a 1v1 to Foodprinter kind of late in the game. People had already made their predictions.
Well, Commander, that is all well and good. That is a fair argument. However, we do have player statistics available on the World of Tanks website, or you could go on any of the third-party tracking sites and just look at how abysmal my general performance is compared to Foodprinters and make an educated decision. So, again, thank y'all for the support. I appreciate that vote of confidence. But believe me, it is if it's gameplay skill we're talking about, it's probably generally in your best interest to assume that I'm going to win. If there's prizes involved and you want to win the prize.
You mean lose?
Lose. I'm not going to win. Sorry. I can't see. I can't even English properly. So anyway,
alrighty, well,
Hyperman, congratulations again.
It's about that time, Domo. But before we go, Foodprinter, do you have any final words? Is there anywhere that folks can follow you, like on social media, or do you stream? Anything you want to share with the people?
I actually don't stream. Like, I don't know. Probably I need to start doing this. However, if you see me in the game, send me an invite. Like, I will be happy to platoon with you guys. No, which clans you are or anything. Like, I'm always down to play with anyone, even Domo.
Wait, actually, that reminds me of a question I had for you. When are we going to see you in Showdown Saturday?
I don't know. Invite me.
Well, you see, the thing is, like, Showdown Saturday has to be like a relatively reasonable score to beat, So I feel like if we invited Foodprinter to set a score, he would set the bar too high.
I've seen
everybody would yell at Chauncey for, not being able to beat the score.
Between Tragic, Fix It in Post,
Fix It also
Jambi
puts
Jump,
down some heavy hitters, yeah.
There are some high scores that are going out there. So, I mean, you've got me and Chauncey to balance it out. I mean, if you get a week where I'm playing Showdown Saturday, it's not going to be hard to beat. So occasionally, I think you do have to have a challenge.
Maybe we can give Foodprinter a handicap and stick him in a, not so great tank.
Yeah.
No crew, no equipment.
Also, Domo, Stellar what says what was that? Oh no, it was Borg goes BR. Domo Met goes bad.
That's true. That's the team name. I was
Oof.
I'm just representing my team, right? All right, so I think that is about all the time we have. Yes, it is precisely 8 p.m. So I believe we are lining up a raid. Tragic.
Raid.
Who we raiding tonight?
Raid. The suspense. Oh, tragic. We are raiding.
We are raiding.
We are raiding Cody Menz.
Cody
Cody
Menz!
Menz.
Cody
I love
Menz.
Cody. Yay! Awesome. Cool. I'm excited. All right. Well, to my co-host and my guest, do y'all have any closing words to share with the people?
I just want
guess
to thank Foodprinter for coming out and thank everyone in chat for hanging out with us tonight. I know that we only do this every few weeks. So we'll probably see you again in a couple of more weeks with a surprise guest because we don't have one lined up yet. And if
Yeah.
you want to be a guest on our show, if you're doing something cool in the World of Tanks arena that you want to share with people, feel free to hit me and Domo or Tragic up in the community, and we'll consider your application.
Yeah. And then, also consider the fact that there's currently no one else in the running. So if you're interesting or know interesting people, there's, nobody competing with you for a spot on Talkin' Tanks. So yeah, hit us up. Or again, if you know somebody, maybe a cool clan commander, maybe some there's a group of people doing some kind of awesome charity stuff or putting together tournaments. Really, sky's the limit. If y'all are doing something cool that is World of Tanks related and you want to talk about it, hit us up. Worst thing we can say is no, right? And that's not really that bad of an answer to get because come on, we're not that cool to hang out with. So, but yeah. Anyway, I'm talking. We're all talking. We're over schedule. So, thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you Foodprinter. Thank you Commander AF. We'll see you guys. Hopefully not too long from now. Have a good evening and let's raid Cody Menz. Bye.
Bye everyone.
Bye, guys.